Greetings. I'm super excited to talk to you about the life force channel and your spine. So in this lesson, we're going to talk all about the spine and its interface for life force energy. It's actually the main channel through which life force energy flows. It's taking a moment for the screen to change. So while you're waiting, you can just sit up and straighten your spine and imagine taking a few breaths into your spine. I'm not sure what's happening here. Okay. My apologies. Let's do this again. Okay. So the life force channel in the spine. It is like an electrical cord. I'm going to move myself over here for a minute. So within your spine lies the life force channel, which in Sanskrit is called a nadi, or a river or flow of energy, which runs the whole length of your spine. The main channel or nadi is known as Sushumna, and that's running down the main column of the spine. It acts like an electrical cord, bringing cosmic life currents of energy and information, as well as consciousness, into your body via the spine. So here's an image. You can imagine that life force current coming in right through the top of your head and running down your spine. It follows the same pathway as the vagus nerve, so your body's longest, strongest main nerve that actually attaches to and brings information back from every organ in the body. And here again, you can see the vagus nerve is this main nerve. It's the longest nerve, and it connects into all the other nerves and organs. And here's another picture of the super strong vagus nerve. Life force current determines how alive we feel, how much energy is running in our spine. It also determines our state of aliveness, our health and our well-being, and life force also determines our mood and our response to other life, so other people. I'm going to move myself again. Life force is also known as Kundalini or Kundalini Shakti. And in many cultures, especially in India, this energy is depicted as the mother. So they say she. It's a very feminine association with this current of energy, the source of life. Life force is also understood as chi, also called prana, or that which is being moved or worked with in the martial arts. When you see these people moving, they are working with the chi or the life force currents. Life force currents or chi, prana, kundalini come through the spinal channel and step their way down into the body system via the chakras. So these lights, and if you're familiar with the chakras, and we have a lesson on the chakras, also called energy vortexes. So life force steps down into the physical body in several ways. So the chakras act as regulators, and they step down into the corresponding endocrine glands and nerve plexuses. So you know you have a nerve plexus, the thoracic plexus, the solar plexus. Okay, life force also translates as it goes from the subtle realm into the physical, into finer and finer, or into heavier, denser elements. So down here we have the earth element. Up here it's ether. Moves into air, moves into fire, moves into water and earth. So that life force also translates elementally. Sushumna Nadi, which is the central column, is the subtle element behind the vagus nerve. It's the pathway for Kundalini to step in through those nerve plexuses into the nervous system, like we were talking about. So here's a picture of the main endocrine glands, and you'll notice they sit at the same general location. So we have the first and second chakras, third chakra, thymus, and this is, generally speaking, but you can see how they basically line up. So the chakra energy, that life force energy, comes through the chakras, it twirls, it spins, it's regulated. We'll talk more about that in the chakra lesson. And it steps down into our physical body through these endocrine glands as one pathway. It also helps us to access life force through breathing. So life force is called prana, another word for prana, and it rides on the oxygen in our breath. So when we breathe, we're breathing in life force energy through our nose and mouth also. But our spine is the regulator. It's the interface between cosmic life force energy in the unseen and our bodies. And therefore, spinal awareness is key. So by regularly bringing attention to the spine and breathing in it, which we can all do this right now. Imagine breathing the length of your spine. You are activating the flow of life force and prana, which is extremely beneficial to your lives and to your relationships. So we have actually 3 channels in the spine. Sushumna is the central column. It's the neutral channel. But then we also have 2 electromagnetic channels. So we've got the positively charged channel Pingala. It's actually on the right side, so this person's facing you. And that is also called the solar energy. Pingala refers to the sun. Pingala is Sanskrit for the sun. And then Ida is Sanskrit for lunar or the moon. So these 2, this is the negatively charged pole. And actually they weave between the chakras. This picture doesn't show that very well, but it is in some other slides that we'll get to. So the Pingala Nadi, right, the one on the right, the positively charged, it's positively charged, it's masculine or solar, it's the active principle. It actually exits through your right nostril, okay, it's on the right side. Extroverted sympathetic nervous system. So it's interfacing with your environment and it's responding actively. It's focus and attention based and logical based. It's spatially perceptive. And you can kind of think of Pingala Nadi as fulfilling your basic needs. So noticing what needs to be done in the environment and acting on it. Whereas Ida, which exits through your left nostril, is indicated by the breath. It is the negatively charged channel associated with the moon. You could also call it feminine, but it's receptive or passive, introverted, creative. It activates the parasympathetic nervous system, which has to do with more relaxation, perceptive sensory input. It's like making you feel good, relaxation, integration. Where Pingala is more extroverted, right? It's going toward what do we need to get done? What needs to be done here? That's a very masculine quality. Feminine is relaxed, integrate. Now, masculine, feminine doesn't mean man and woman. Okay, I know this needs to be clarified sometimes that men also have Ida channels and women also have Pingala. We both have both channels. And then the central column, Sushumna, I put the wheel here because that's where we captain our ship, so to speak. That's the higher mind. The emergence of the other 2 channels brings us into balance and harmony, homeostasis. That's where meditation takes place the best, when both nostrils are flowing. And that's a different science altogether. Swara yoga is the science of which nostril is breathing and therefore which channel is active, but we're not going to go into that in this course. It's also the inner marriage at Sushumna. So the goal of awakening is to merge the three channels into one. But it's not really positive plus negative equals neutral, even though that's how it sounds. It's really an alchemical process where the positive and the negative flow into the neutral channel, and they kind of cancel each other out, and they create a whole new reality. It's depicted here in a really beautiful way in this Ankh. So these two sidelines would be the two channels. And actually the life force energy does move like this around through the chakras. So one current, Pingala, will go here, 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 here. And then the third eye, it's meeting at the third eye, both come together. So Ida would come this way to the left side, and together they would meet and create this unified field that opens the third eye to a new reality, to one reality. See how it's just the opening? That's just the one. In practical terms, what does this look like? It looks like finding balance in your life, validating both sets of emotions, negative and positive emotions. It looks like allowing. Where are you today? Are you more in the masculine, more in the feminine, more in Ida, more in Pingala? And we tend to go back and forth, you know, as we are evolving and realizing this, then we can begin to bring both. So we're coming from a practical yet intuitive place. We're observing, but we're also letting the emotion, and then we're like being smart about it. So we want to avoid the total attraction repulsion swing as much as possible, even though there's going to be some. This is practically also helpful to balance the brain doing this work, understanding this. And you could call middle path. That's why I put Buddha here, because the middle path of living is really honoring all the parts. So we're not always going to be in center. There is oscillation. That's why it's depicted as life force energy. And we'll go over that more in the Kundalini lecture. But life force energy, yes, of course, we want to get to a place where we feel balanced, but the middle path is also honoring the ebb and flow, honoring that sometimes we go a little bit this way and sometimes this way. And yeah, we might go into a negative polarity for a minute. Something seemingly bad might happen, but to honor that too is honoring that Ida, that negative polarity, so that we can come back and honor the positive again. And again, it's not bad and good, it's just polarity. So how do we bring activation to the spine? Of course, breathing practices, which we will do in the practices section. Meditation and visualization are really, really helpful for bringing more awareness into the spine, and also for sitting upright and just feeling your spine, or exercises that elongate your spine. But really, you guys, just knowing the function of the spine to be the main interface for this powerful life force current helps a lot. Like when we understand how this energy flows, which we're going to get into in the next few lectures, it really, really helps us give each other a break and give ourselves a break as we realize we're going through this powerful process, that we actually couldn't function without both polarities running through our body. Here's a more accurate depiction. So here's Ida, even though Ida starts on the left and goes that way, and then they meet actually in the third eye. So even this picture is a little bit off, but they meet here in the third eye, and then they open up to a field where that Ankh would be open at the top. So everyone's got their own nice little depictions here, but so we need the magnetic and electrical, we need the sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous system, we need the polarities. That's part of duality. Yes, we want to return to a place of unity, but we don't want to lose relationship. So that's one of the goals in our bodies right now, is if we want to stay in relationship with other people, in other words, not realize everyone is us and just be in unity field and just be one being again, but to understand the beauty of relationship, the beauty of duality and polarity, while having a unified consciousness about it, that we can accept both of these poles running, both of the needs happening, that will help our lives run so much more smoothly. So we have to have both. We want to honor both and see them into their oneness. So over here, we've got the catechist that you see at the American Medical Association, which I think is a little funny since they don't really follow these precepts at all and kind of stole them or hijacked them. But the only way to reach a unified field of unity and love is to merge these. Now we have the symbol of the pineal gland here at the top and the spine. And then this is Ida and Pingala coming around here. And when they unify at the pineal gland, you can say we take flight. The wings of our consciousness open, we have expanded awareness, and we're able to really observe our life from a higher vantage point. We do this, I'm just moving myself all around. We do this through both the heart and the mind. So consciousness, mind, awareness, we observe the stuff that's going on. We observe the polarity, we observe, and we also honor it and we love it. And we love that about ourselves too. And we recognize this too as bliss. So now it makes sense why one would meditate with a straight spine. Now you have a basic understanding of the spine and its role in life force energy. So that completes this first lecture, and we'll see you in the next lecture. Thank you for joining me.